Jackie Cation, Laurie Kilmartin.
Hey, you're in New York. You're in New York City.
I am, and I was so worried about coming here. I called the clubs to make sure they weren't underwater and stuff. And aside from that night, where they had, I think one of them had to pump water out of a basement because it is a basement club. It was fine. And I landed, it was gorgeous. The weather's gorgeous right now. Harlem, this part of Harlem's on a hill, so there's no flooding or anything. And so it's beautiful. I had 5 spots last night, have 5 tonight.
Oh my God. Were they all 15s?
Yeah, 15 to 20. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I got to really work some chunks. It was nice.
Yeah, because you tend you're just doing you're working the same set list, not verbatim, but essentially, right? So that you don't get lost.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, there was one. I had 2 spots back to back. Do you hear that?
A little bit, but
yeah,
I think
it's not
right.
bad.
Okay, that's 145th Street for you. I was the last spot on one show at Greenwich Village Comedy Club and the first spot on the next show, and they turned the room around pretty quick. So there was a feeling of, wait, didn't I just ask you guys this question?
Oh, so true. So
yeah.
true. Mm-hmm. My day yesterday was ridiculous because I flew to Limestone on Wednesday night. So I got to Bloomington, Indiana at 9 o'clock. Kind of awesome because I landed at 7:30 in Indianapolis, as did Dana Gould. And so the young man who picked us up drove us the hour 15 to Bloomington. And I got to hang out with Dana Gould for an hour 15 and got to hear stories. Do you know that he, I don't know, he didn't tell me not to repeat this story, but it's awesome because he was working on the sequel to Spaceballs with Mel Brooks a couple of years ago, Spaceballs 2. And he said, and this is me, not him at all, but because he said it's a lot funnier than Spaceballs, and I said, well, it would have to be, because there were funny parts of Spaceballs, and I was like, I mean, it's so epically clear that Mel Brooks doesn't like science fiction. Like, he likes fantasy, he likes fairy tales, he likes all these other things. But I would, and I bet you it's a great script, but they didn't make it so far. But the weird thing is I wish he and Mel Brooks would write a sequel to History of the World Part 1. That's one of my favorite Mel Brooks movies.
I haven't seen that movie. I got to see it.
Well,
I do have to see it, right?
Blazing Saddles and Young Frankenstein are the ones that everybody says you should see.
Yes. And I have seen those, yeah.
Yeah. And
Not in a long time.
Yeah. History of the World Part 1 is just silly. It's full of, it's stick jokes, but it's also full of some really good satire, and so it's super fun. Yeah.
It's on my to-do list, Jackie, as soon as I finish with this Scandinavian murder porn that I'm watching now.
And then, so we get there, we go out to dinner, Dana and I, because he's forgotten to eat. I was like, oh, I had a 4-hour layover. I've eaten.
Who forgets to eat? I can't stand people who forget to eat. Well, it doesn't compute with me, and I think it's a lie.
It feels like you're putting it off, and then you're starving. It's like, I think you're putting it off so that you can eat something healthy. I don't think it's forgetting so much as you're just like, no, I'm going to eat a good thing and I'm going to have all that I want. But all that's in front of me is crap. And you're like, yeah, just eat the crap. Just eat sadly, that's where this one goes.
I do feel like some people, they don't notice their hunger until it's ravenous. And that's genetic, and it does me no good to hate them or wish ill upon them, but I don't like it, and I don't
never
hear about
stopped
it.
you. That does not stop you. And but so that was Wednesday night. Thursday was the beginning of the Limestone, and the swag bag for the Limestone Comedy Festival this year. Jared and Matt put it together. My first, I believe it is, if I remember correctly, though High Plains might have had this as well, but it might be my first comedy festival that didn't have a sex toy in it. The hilariousness, because it's a comedy festival. Why wouldn't it have a cock ring or a thumb vibrator or some fucking thing?
That's right. Or why not a vibrator that is default to women and make the men, take home something that they don't understand. Why do we always have to come home with
some
flesh
weird
vaginas and stuff. Yeah.
Oh my God, that fleshlight that I got at Moon Tower one year was one of the dumbest.
Oh my God.
It was I think it was Matt Bronger who literally pulled it apart on stage and just started he literally did. It was either him or Kanane doing prop comedy with a disemboweled fleshlight. It was so gross.
Yeah.
Anyway, so the show was wonderful, and hanging out in Bloomington is always a delight. And I did not want to leave, but I'm having a really good time. I'm in Alameda. I'm doing the Alameda Comedy Club right now, and
yay!
They put you up at a Wyndham. I was terrified.
Yes.
Because the last Wyndham I stayed at, if you remember correctly, Jackie and Laurie fans, the carpeting was gross and it was wet. Remember that foul? But it was, I booked it. I booked it and it was an airport Wyndham. This is an Alameda, California, bougie street, beautiful Wyndham.
And isn't Alameda adorable? I love it.
It couldn't be more adorable. It is essentially the Gilmore Girls from 2010.
I do want, if I were to start over and have like a husband and a family, we would go right to Alameda. It's just
do not pass go. Do not.
Too sweet.
I went to the farmer's market this morning and bought freshly picked hen of the wood mushrooms to make with my eggs tomorrow or the day after. Like,
you're gonna literally just bring it back? Okay.
Yeah, I'm just bringing them back in my luggage because this woman had different mushrooms that she was clearly, they're not called a mushroomelier, but she's a mushroomelier and had picked boxes and boxes of mushrooms. They were delicious looking. So I don't know anything.
Mushroomeliers?
Oh, write that down. Please write that down.
Mushroomelier.
Yeah. So, and the shows last night were nice. The guys that are opening for me are very funny. San Francisco guys, and so that was a delight. I was so tired though. It was a 10-hour travel day yesterday.
You must have been exhausted. Yeah, but at least you had the day to chill.
Well, today I have the day to chill, but because I got to the hotel at 5:30. The first show was at 7.
Oh, I was thinking you had a day ahead of Limestone, but you went right to
I had a day ahead of went right to brutal. Alameda. So
yeah,
just took a quick bath and headed over. And so I'm actually looking forward to tonight. Did a bunch of stuff from the album. We got album dates. We did. We did. There was some talk of us releasing them the same week, and there was some talk from us going no.
Yeah, that was squelched. Yeah, we are separate people,
humans,
and we have each had long careers without interacting with each other, and we would each like the attention one gets for such a situation.
Right. So yours is coming out first, which makes sense because you recorded it first, and that is in the middle of October, I believe.
I feel like that's what you told yourself to calm yourself down when you got the date. You were like, well, I guess you recorded it. But God fucking damn it.
That is exactly without the head shake and the screaming. But there was head shake and screaming inside my head going, just calm down. You wanted it to come out within 2 months. Yeah, at this juncture, you really do.
It's fine. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Oh, last night, a fan, Evelyn, brought us both masks.
She gave us our bracelets, right?
Yes, I believe she did. Yeah, and some of the masks are nice. I got a Peanuts one, a Snoopy one. That was pretty great.
Oh, cute. Yeah, adorable.
And and then I went to a restaurant here in Alameda for lunch with my friend from college that had been recommended separately by the club owner, Patrick, and by the MC. And who was like, you got to go to the Burmese Superstar, whatever the hell it's called. It was amazing. It was genuinely delicious. And I think they do spicy if you want spicy, but it was just all super flavorful and delightful. Anyway, but but there was something about, and then I got to see Sarah Schaefer too. And that was super fun. But I didn't get to see anybody. do stand up.
Oh, her podcast is really funny. It comes out sporadically, but she also puts a lot of effort into it. So she can't do it sloppily like we do.
Yes.
It's like she always makes some video that gets a million hits. So there's a lot of pressure, but it's really great.
Same with Data Gould. He did a live podcast that I got to watch. He interviewed the director of Rudy and Hoosiers, who happens to live in Bloomington, Indiana.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
JetBlue has a new flight out to JFK at like 1 p.m.
Oh, wow.
I might try that. As long as I don't have a day job, I don't have to take the red eye. I don't know why I was punishing myself always to take. Well, I mean, this time out, I could have left during the day. I just didn't know they had a daytime flight. So that's like big news.
That is big news.
This red eye is getting really tough.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel good. I come here, I get in around 8 a.m. and I just sleep till like 3, and then I feel like shit anyway. And then I do my spots. It takes like a day and a half to recover. Yeah.
Right.
It's
right. So it'll take only a half a day if you just go normal. And
or if I leave at 1, I'll get in at 9, and it's not fucking with my sleep that much,
Yeah.
The other thing is Southwest. This is real tempting because the cab from JFK to here is like $78. It's $80 basically, and that plus airfare, it starts to get real expensive. And I was going to take the A train in, even though I was going to be exhausted, but I didn't know if it would be working because of the flooding and stuff, right? So I'm like, all right. But Southwest has one that has a flight that has to stop, so it's a total 9-hour voyage. It is longer.
Yeah.
But it's Burbank to LaGuardia, and LaGuardia is so much closer to Manhattan. It's
right, to absolutely everything. Yeah.
15 minutes. Yeah. So maybe I'll try that one day.
I flew all Southwest, and Southwest actually was, if I ended up spending so much money on this trip to Indiana here just because, and I quite honestly don't even know what I'm being paid for this weekend at Alameda, because he told me when they were down to just doing the outside show, and there were only 3 shows, I think, and so I have no idea if it's what's happening, right? And but yeah, because I kept because it was a 9-hour travel day yesterday, and I had bought the early bird, but for some reason every single flight was packed, shoulder to shoulder, 100 people. I was sitting next to a kid on the flight out from wherever, I think I was it was Denver to Indianapolis, and the middle kid, the young man in the middle seat, was wearing an American flag mask that he would purposefully adjust below his nose.
Oh.
And I kept wanting to I thought about saying, "Hey, Kyle, Rittenhouse, if you could pull that up, that'd be great." But then I thought, what if you were murdered? So what happened was the flight attendant came by, and I gave her the big eyes. I was like,
sure, the JK eyes.
And I looked at him, and I gave her the big eyes, and he did. And but he was the one I sent you.
Something to him?
Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
Totally. My internet connection is unstable. So I'm here.
I thought you were committing to your act out, but in fact you froze. I'm like, wow, she's all in on this. It's the new Jackie.
It is. I'm also doing mime. So I'm back in the Bay Area like 3 times in the next 6 weeks.
Wow.
I'm doing San Jose with Maria next weekend.
Which club? The Improv?
Yeah. I'm also with her.
There.
I've only worked there with her. Tiered seating. It's a little big. It's one of those 450s that has that.
I'm kind of a Roosters gal, but she hasn't reopened.
I got a Roosters date. That's the next time I'm coming. I got a Roosters date in October.
When is it?
Don't know.
Did she reopen it?
I think it's about to be reopened.
Oh,
because
okay.
I got a date in the fall. Yeah, exactly, right?
Okay.
And so, and I'm also, interesting. I typed in Roosters to look it up, and all that came up were 3 notices to send avails. Yeah. So crazy. Oh, Rooster T. Feathers, October. Yeah, it's the weekend before Halloween.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah. So
I'm gonna go. I'm doing a set at the Bell House. No, not the Bell House. Shit. You know what? Never mind. But I'll be in New York
again,
the weekend of the 8th and 9th, and that's Saturday. I'm doing
okay.
a set in Brooklyn. Okay, I'll have more specifics.
Right. But you'll be back in New York the weekend of the 8th and 9th?
Yeah, maybe Union Hall or something. I forget.
Okay.
But yeah, I just was reminded that I have an October thing as well.
You got an October
Jackie.
thing. Well, this week, so it's San Jose, Flappers, and Irvine. I'm opening for Maria 3 times this next week.
Wow.
But
cool.
It's all kind of local. At least it's in, quite honestly, when I woke up this morning, I was like, it's Pacific time. I'm so happy. And I don't know why.
Yeah.
I don't know why that happened. But and then we're going back to Vegas. Maria's doing the new Wise Guys in Vegas off the Strip.
Wow.
And she hasn't been to Vegas in 20 years.
Wow, that's exciting. She's getting out there.
But it'll be I think, because it'll just be the two of us. And there won't be those 2 banana heads, or any banana heads, right? It'll just be Keith.
No, yeah, that's great.
And yeah, it'll be unless Keith Stubbs has changed his life fundamentally, it'll be just fine. Yeah.
Right, and then I feel like people that go out to see Maria are very deliberate, deliberately going out to see her, and so it's different from people losing all their money and all they can afford is the comedy show.
Yeah, which they have free tickets
to the casino. Right.
Hey, so you had a tweet up. Yeah. Can you write who it was about? Because I could think of any number of people that it was about.
What was the tweet?
The tweet was canceled because people are canceled because they're just bad joke writers.
Oh my God, so many. But there's this one guy. I don't think I've seen him ever at a comedy club, but every time he pops up on Twitter in my feed, it's because he said something horrendous and then been like woke culture, all that kind of stuff, right? And it's just like, dude, that isn't a joke. Like, it doesn't have a twist. It's just angry. So then I tweeted. Someone had done a screenshot of his comment about. It was like, spare me, women not knowing that they're pregnant at 6 weeks. They're whores. It's that guy, right? It just doesn't. It's like, what? So,
yeah. Oh my God, that guy's never gotten laid. He has never had a pregnancy scare with a girlfriend or anybody, because nobody knows shit at 6 weeks.
No, I mean, you don't. And periods are all over the map. Some of them come every 8 weeks. I was never regular. Different women have different schedules. If you do something physical, if you're an athlete, that can fuck with your schedule. There's no schedule.
If you're a drunk, it totally fucks with your schedule.
Yes.
There you go.
And, you were the athlete of drunks. That's what I tell people.
Finally, I've got good elbow skills. Anyway, go ahead.
But it's just it drives me nuts when there's that kind of guy that's like, woke culture's killing it. It's like, no, you didn't write a good joke, and you could write a decent joke that I wouldn't like, but
right, it could be a mean joke, but a joke nonetheless, right?
Yeah, or an ill-informed joke, right? Like I've always, like Nick DiPaolo, I've known my entire comedy career. Like, he'll write a good joke based off a flawed premise, and then I get annoyed because I'm like, I know you cherry picked your setup completely, but the joke will be funny, and it's like, oh, all right,
it will be an actual joke. It'll be an actual joke because he has written a joke, and he's written any number of people you could pick. It'd be like if Michael Moore did comedy, or because he tends to cherry pick shit too, right? And he has a point. He's coming from a very specific angle, and you're just like, okay, it's actually a bigger there's more nuance.
Right,
but
right,
all right,
right.
keep talking, and then beat this thing to fucking death. It's not my favorite, is what I'm saying. But if he did stand up, he would do the same thing on what ostensibly is the left.
Who knows? I don't know. I only
do.
see it
I
with
totally
these
know.
guys.
Yeah.
Well, but there no one, Michael. I don't. Since he doesn't do comedy, I think he's a great example of this. But I don't hear any leftist comics going, "Oh, the conservative." Well, whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I just hear it from this one point of view of blaming people for not, getting mad at a statement. And it's like, it's a statement. It's not a joke. Jokes have a twist, and there needs to be some wordplay here. And then I did I go, you could take this setup and you could write a joke about it. And I did a sample joke, and but there's a twist there. And
did it go viral? Did it get more likes than his?
Oh, I doubt it. I don't think so.
Okay. I just wanted it.
But it just drives me nuts that they blame the wrong thing for causing the reaction they don't like. It's because the joke wasn't good.
Yeah.
It's not because your point of view isn't good, because that's irrelevant. If you can write a good joke, I'll laugh at jokes that are flawed because they're good jokes. I don't know. That's the guy I was talking about. But it happens a lot. It's a lot of comics that aren't that good. They're not very good writers, but because they're taking their poor writing skills and applying them to conservative topics, they blame the response on the topics, and it's like, no, it's your writing skills. I don't know how to fix it because you don't seem interested in fixing it. You can read a Gene Parrott joke book and figure it out.
Yeah. Speaking of great material written poorly, great. This is a terrible. There's trouble with a clean comedy festival.
Oh my God, that was amazing!
It was amazing. $300. Right, $300.
Explain.
Okay, so some town in Indiana called somethingville has. Is it Greenville?
Yes.
Because the name of the comedy club is called Gutties. And I found out that there's it's a chain. There's one in Edina, Minnesota. Boo.
It's a new chain. But Gutties used to be one-liners that I used to work all the time. It was a club called One-Liners, and it had, did I tell you this last week? Or did I tell you this? It had, before 9/11, they had, because they were near like a small airport, they have a joke, half of a plane sticking out of the roof as if the plane had crashed into the comedy club. And then after 9/11, it wasn't that funny. But it was a fun room. I mean, very conservative audiences.
It's supposedly the town where the Klan was founded.
Yes, but I would say, I've heard that. A taxi driver told me that when I was driving around or moving around in town, but I do feel like there's at least 10 towns that claim that proudly, so you can't necessarily. But yeah, okay, so that's just a little background on the club.
Right, and it is supposedly a clean, conservative, Christian with a K club, right? Like they're sort of like it's sort of a very it's pretty tight. But anyway, they have a clean comedy.
They had like black comics in the. I wouldn't say they would call themselves conservative or whatever with a K. Like I think it's the emphasis on Christian.
No, I'm saying Christianity with a K because it's not a Christianity that I approve of. Me, Jackie Cation, avowed. I'm a Christian. I think that their Christianity could take a K and shove it up their ass. So it is literally because it isn't. It's not. It doesn't have anything to do with Jesus. It doesn't have anything to do with the idea of the gospel and generosity and even being a goddamn good sport. It's got nothing to do with it's super mean is what I'm saying, and super judgmental without any of the
judgmental for sure.
This is my opinion. You guys get to do whatever you want out there, but and you can cancel me if you want. There's no punchline. So I'm doing that thing that Laurie just talked about. There's no twist. But the thing is it's so they have the woman who runs a contest out of that club, and it's called the Clean Comedy Contest, I believe.
Yes.
And it's $300 to get in. Get this, it's $150 to audit.
Oh my God!
You can audit a contest, which means you don't get to go up. But $300, the Clean Comedy Contest, to be in it, 36 contestants. We heard initially it was 15 people got COVID and 3 died.
Right.
But here's the thing, 18
people. Comedians. Yeah.
Because I later got a series of emails and DMs from a kid that was in the contest.
Oh, really?
Who was like, "Hey, I just want to clarify." And I was like, he said, "You can't use my name." And I was like, "I can do whatever I want. If you claim to have this information." He said there were 18 people who got it, and they were and of the 36, which is half. And 3 people so far have died, and that's were
1/12 of the contestants died.
And by the way,
competition.
None of them in the finals.
I know you got to credit Augie for that, because that was a hilarious and cruel observation that I love. He's like, they didn't even make the finals. That's what you died for? Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And so 36 people signed up for this thing for something like $300 a pop. And then you had the chance to win $1,000.
Oh my God.
You had a chance
and then
to
the
net.
guy that did win, it's not
super
career.
Funny. This is all very sad.
No,
but
they gave him a giant trophy. Like, what are you gonna do with the trophy?
It was a chalice.
Comics live out of their cars. You gave him a trophy that's gonna take up the entire passenger seat.
It was a caricature. It was a caricature and COVID. Yeah, $300 to get COVID. That might have been Augie's as well. Augie had some real good zingers.
Yes, no one was saying anything. It was like, it was just sort of the rumor mill for a while, and then we all just started posting about it.
Right, because what happened was we heard the rumor, and then I was like, and then I started talking to Indiana Comics. I'm like, is this true? And then, wait, because you had heard it from Brogan. Last week you mentioned it.
Yeah.
So I was like, that's a rumor. That can't possibly be true. And then it turns out it's dead true. And then we find articles, and we find, blog entries, and we find obituaries, and
oh my God. 3 obituaries from one comedy competition on Facebook. And then the woman running it, Leslie Norris Townsend, I forget.
Oh, nice call. Nice grab.
Maybe. It's 3 names. Mm-hmm. She I went down her, looked at her schedule a little bit. She's doing a lot of church stuff, like church shows. Masks not required, vaccines not required. Like I don't know who got the initial case of COVID and spread it, but what she's doing is going to keep doing that.
Yeah. And all of her credits, the only thing I noticed was her credits were like Fox News and Huckabee. Those were her 2 credits. Yeah, those were her 2 credits.
Like, Huckabee writes jokes that are bad, but they are jokes.
Right. They are not good jokes, but they are jokes.
Yeah.
Hey, let's take a break.
Okay.
And let's also talk about who opened for me in Bloomington 2 nights ago. Comic of the Week, new Comic of the Week. Indiana comic, to my knowledge, Shanda Sung, S-U-N-G. But her
oh, she froze just as she was going
Twitter handle is Shanda Panda. What?
I said you froze right before you gave the Twitter handle. It was like kind of perfect.
Classic.
So much suspense.
So much. It's Shanda Panda. It's at Shanda Panda. And she is a mom and does really funny mom jokes. And she's kind of, it is, I guess Jared was telling me that, or it might have been Matt, that no, I think it was Jared, because she went up just days before she gave birth. And I was like, I've heard others do this. It turns out she's just pregnant. She's not, she doesn't have a cold. Like, she can still walk and stuff, right?
Oh yeah, I mean it's still pretty cool, and
it's super cool.
I think it's good. Cheers to her for that. That's fun.
So if you get a
great.
chance to see her, it's at Shanda Panda, and go check her out. She did the limestone this weekend, and she was really funny in front of me, and that's the comic of the week. Do you want to do an ad?
I do. I have to flip my shit around here to can we
because
pause this for just a second?
Yeah, here, I'll give you a quick pause just so we can. Second. All right, we're live.
Guys, shopping for new clothes can be time-consuming, tedious, and expensive. Fortunately, Stitch Fix makes it easy to find the clothes you love. Okay, Stitch Fix offers clothing hand-selected by expert stylists for your unique size, style, and budget. You try on pieces at home before you buy them. You keep your favorites and you send the rest back. Stitch Fix has free shipping, easy returns, this is totally true, and exchanges, and prepaid return envelope is included. There's no subscription required. You try Stitch Fix once or set up automatic deliveries. You pay $20 for the styling fee for each box, but it gets credited towards the pieces that you keep. And like the box I just got, there was a dress there that I was like, I'm not sure about this, but I'll try it on. And I probably wouldn't have tried it on in a store, but it was in my bedroom. So I'm like, what the hell? And I kept it. I liked it. It shocked me.
Oh, that's awesome.
And the other stuff, again, super easy to put back in the box, and they give you an envelope, and I just put it on top of the mailbox, and it was whisked away from me. So it's very, very easy.
I liked it. I have a very nice blouse that I kept on the last box that is that is a little dressy and a little it's just nice. It's nice that they pick stuff, because I'm just gonna wear t-shirts forever.
Right.
So Stitch Fix will pick something a little dressier, and I'll look a little less just like your little brother that turned into a 55-year-old woman. Get started today at stitchfix.com/Jackie Laurie, and you'll get 25% off when you keep everything in your fix. That's stitchfix.com/Jackie Laurie for 25% off when you keep everything in your fix. And if you don't keep everything in your fix, you don't get a deal, but the prices they're reasonable. You get to pick your price point. So, and they picked out clothes for you. But if you like everything, you'll get 25% off the whole box then. So stitchfix.com/Jackie Laurie.
It's quite a deal. I don't know if you hear the sirens going outside my window. I don't know. I like the hum of people. When I was in the village last night, there we go. Good luck, person in that ambulance. I love Greenwich Village Comedy Club. It's part of the Al Martin empire.
Oh yeah.
And it's so low key but it's fun, and I always come up with like different lines there. There's not the pressure of some other clubs where you really are like, oh, I gotta follow this person, and it's also an underground space, which is great. So that was a lot of fun.
There's just some spaces that just encourage that creativity. It kind of opens up the dialogue, and you come up with stuff.
Yes. It's right next to the cellar. Like, it's next to the cellar empire. And so it's like I was walking by the cellar. I'm like, it would be nice to work here too again, but I don't know. It's a lot of commitments, and it's a lot of commitment to killing every time you're on stage and hammering and that's good. That's fine, but
and you're already doing 5 sets a night. You're doing 5 sets a night, so that seems plenty. So. Yeah, I think
6
you're doing
would be better, and 7 would be terrific.
You're out of your mind. I had I was so punchy last night that second show. I decided to start new stuff. I just started to work on the new stuff, and the good thing about the album being done is that I can go to the closer, I can go to the opener, I can go back to my favorite parts of that hour, and just even. And quite honestly, just still, I don't know why I keep, there's part of you, this is not me, but sometimes I feel like it is. So I don't know. When I say jokes that are, and this only happens right after I record albums, I'm like, don't say those jokes anymore. You'll just drive yourself nuts with getting them tighter or writing new tags. But every time I still do it anyway. I was listening that last day in Vegas last week. I listened to one of my albums that 45 minutes before the show started in an effort to figure out what was good, and I realized that I did a line. Remember I do this on one of the albums. There's an LA Job thing, the DiGiorno joke, and the dog. I do a joke about. I used to do a joke about dogs and sleep apnea masks. And so when I recorded the album, it was before I wrote the very final punchline, which is that the name of the sleep apnea mask company for dogs would be CPUP. And that is funny and silly. And I did it on Conan. I was psyched because it's recorded somewhere that I did it.
Yeah.
And but it wasn't on the album. But I was like, oh shit. I was like, fine. And yeah.
Why can't we sneak into our old albums and just drop in tags and then sneak the fuck out? Why is it set in stone like that?
I don't know. But my next thing I'm going to think about after this thing comes out mid-November, and everybody likes the name of my album, Staycation, and I'm hoping that, and I told Patrick, and I told the MC the name of the album, and Patrick still pronounced my name Cashian, and I was like, no. This is what we're doing. This is one of the reasons why we're calling the new album Staycation, so that you know how to pronounce my last name.
Jackie, he had just come back from Vacation, so that makes sense to me.
Right, he had been on his own vacation, and but it's So I'm ready. I'm ready to get this thing out, and the video is supposed to be ready this next week as well. I'm gonna drop the video probably just on YouTube. And and see if anybody cares. And
how do the guys that have their specials on YouTube do it? Do they do it in chunks, like 15 minutes, then an ad, or how do they do it? You should watch one of them.
It. I should see what Chad Daniels
Mark Norman's or Chad Daniels or Sam Morrill and see how they do it.
Yeah, because they've done a bunch of them, so I could just check it out. And I don't know. I was thinking, so that's where I'm at. What about Joe Rogan? Huh? What about Joe Rogan? He got COVID. Maybe.
I know.
I don't necessarily believe it. And then he said he took that horse dewormer. The horse dewormer thing is funny because you know who told me about that horse dewormer, Vectrin or whatever it's called? A month before everybody was
I think it's guess.
Is that your
that
guess?
Was my guess.
Yeah, that's exactly who told me about it. And I was like, well, I don't think I'm going to take that. And this person said they're using it in Mexico. And that the person I just talked about, they said that they were vaccinated. They're like, it's just in case you get it. It's just a great way to treat the symptoms. And I was like, and now that I know that it's a horse dewormer, I'm like, I don't have a symbiote in me. It's not a parasite. COVID isn't like a giant, like I'm not carrying around a dune worm in my intestines. What the fuck?
Well, this person said it treats COVID after you have it.
Yeah.
Okay, because it seems like some people are getting it before they get COVID, and that's leading to like overdoses. And someone else on Twitter got into a Facebook group about it just to spy, and there's tons of posts about people asking, I'm shitting all over the place, like massive diarrhea. And
here's the other thing about using livestock medicine, because Andy's dad told me one time, because he was a dog trainer, right? Andy's dad, Clyde Ashcraft, trained pointers, bird dogs, for field trials for hunting, right? Pheasant hunting or something like that on horseback. And so he had a horse. He had many different kinds of dogs, and he said that sometimes, like I don't know if he ever did it, but he talked about people getting antibiotics, dog antibiotics, when they had an infection because it was unregulated. You could just get it. You didn't have to go to the doctor. He said the biggest problem, I believe he said this to me, either that or I made it up, is that the biggest problem was figuring out what size dog you were for the dosage.
That's funny. I'm a Great Dane.
I'm a Springer Spaniel, and you're just like, what kind of, because you got to work out the dosage. It's for horses.
Sure.
Horses are 1,200 pounds or whatever, right?
Yeah.
If you are taking the dose of Ivector whatever for a horse, you're gonna die.
Yeah.
So yeah, don't.
Yeah. Well, the other thing, it's whatever, he'll be fine and stuff. It's just it's this type of thinking is causing this to go further and causing this pandemic to go longer.
Yeah.
And they don't think that. They don't see that. So I mean, if you just, there was also footage of Virginia Tech's homecoming game, and it was packed, a stadium packed, no one wearing masks. I guess they have a vaccine. It's mandatory for students, so not everyone there is unvaxxed, but it's still a lot of close proximity and a really contagious version of COVID. So it just seems like, it's so frustrating to see a guy like Rogan do something that's going to make the pandemic last longer. And it, even if you don't give a shit about all the people that are going to die because it lasts longer, it's going to make it harder for us to work. It makes everything harder. Like,
it really does. Everybody's tired. Everybody's exhausted. Depression. So.
Yes. That too.
I saw a thing on the very beautiful little town that is Alameda. One of the stores said, "We're doing masks again." It was just a sign in the door. I was like, "Good for you. Don't even screw with it." Yeah. And Alameda Comedy Club is requesting vaccination proof. Actually, where the Burmese restaurant that we went to today, they requested it as well. If you wanted to eat indoors, if you wanted to eat outdoors, it's fine. And we wanted to eat outdoors anyway, but I still was like, I have it on my phone. Would you like to see it? And they're like, no.
Now they might reconsider recommending boosters, which is annoying because I really want a booster before I.
My mother-in-law got hers.
Oh, really?
Yep.
How did she? Yeah, you have to get the same one too. If you had Pfizer, you got to get Pfizer, Moderna. So
and then I froze.
Yeah, I'm not.
Are you supposed to keep the same
freezing? I think you are.
There's been some freezing. Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
I've come to expect it now.
Well, it's a real clock eater, so it'll be nice. Everybody, you guys can talk amongst yourselves the next time I freeze. You could be like, I don't know what's going on. See the giant moth behind me? I thought it was a butterfly, and I did an episode of Hotel Art, and somebody was like, "That's a moth."
Oh, I guess it is a moth.
I was like, okay, let's take another break. You want to take another break?
I hope you block that person. Oh, you know what? I did a fundraiser for a city council member in Los Angeles, and like Tim Heidecker was there, and Emily Heller was in the audience, and it was fun to see people, but it was one of those where you kind of just show up for your spots in LA, and then I'm like, oh, this audience is really smart. This is a little intimidating. And then after I got off stage, or 2 days later, someone, like a reporter for, I think the Washington, somebody I follow, like a political reporter, is like, "Hey, great set." I was like, "What?
Yeah,
you were in Outwater. That's crazy." I'm glad I didn't know. I kind of slowly became aware of how intellectual the audience was as I was on stage. I think it worked out okay, but I got in my head a little bit.
Yeah, that's too bad.
Mm-hmm.
Because
it was outdoors.
It was whenever I see, it was cool that I was opening the limestone, but then when I saw that Sarah Schaefer and Dana Gould were there, I was like, and this isn't. It feels like I'm slamming myself, but I'm always like, well, they seem much more successful than me. Why am I the one who's opening this? But everybody was like, the set was great, and everybody really liked it, and was fun to see the woman who owns the lesbian gay bar. It's a gay bar, but mostly lesbian. Where it was actually one of the venues, the back door, and the first limestone that I ever did, her name is Smooth with a V. Yes, it is.
Yeah.
And she lent me her moped for like a short ride, for like a little, just 10-minute, and I had the time of my life. and I saw her on the street after the show, and she was like, "You did great." And I was like, "It's you," and I couldn't remember her name, but I was like, "You with the," because I see her she comes to every show when I play at Bloomington. Cool. And she's super nice, but it made me, I was like, it's your name, it has a V in it, and I think it should have a TH, but it's Smooth. And then you have
Smooth
the
moped lady. Yeah.
So, and she's super
got
supportive.
That's cool.
Pretty great. I'm out of things. Yeah. Oh, except for I saw Free Guy. Oh,
did you like it?
I really liked it, as you can imagine. Yeah. It was essentially Deadpool for children, is what it was. And because did you ever see the Deadpool movies?
I don't think I did.
They're just they're a lot of murders and a lot of dick
Free
jokes.
Guy for adults.
Yeah. It's Free Guy for adults. You should do stand-up, is what people say sometimes. So I will say, yeah, I really liked it, and I'm gonna go see Shang-Chi tomorrow, and I'm looking forward to seeing What If when I get home, because Andy was like, "I'm gonna save it for you," which means that I'll be saving it for him.
Oh, that's sweet. I'm saving Ted Lasso for my son. We watch it together. You
have Apple TV?
Yeah. Yeah, it's not exclusive. Anyone can get it, Jackie.
I know, but it's like, it'd be like the sixth thing. It'd be like the sixth thing I would be paying $7 a month for.
Yeah, I know. Oh, it's more. I think it's more than $7. I know. HBO is a lot. That's the most expensive one, and I guess Netflix is as well.
Netflix is the most expensive. HBO is only $10. Disney Plus is $7. 15. Is it?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well,
then it's 15. Okay. Maybe I'm paying the max price, I think.
Oh, you might be getting something fancy. It's
I don't think I am.
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
No, I got nothing.
I'm trying to get myself off of Twitter, which makes me only tweet more. Like, I took it off my phone, so now I'm going through the browser, and it just takes forever. But I'm like, I'm not putting this app back on my phone. I'm gonna make it hurt to tweet.
I did that like 3 months ago, but this is surprising to me, because this is a big part of. I saw that you're kind of on Instagram. You took pictures and posted on Instagram.
Yes. You know what I like about Instagram? I hate seeing everyone's careers. I really do. It causes me anxiety. So that is one thing I scroll past, and I'm torn. Do I contribute to that by posting my shows, or do I just try to put something? I don't know. I don't want to contribute to the overall show promotion anxiety, but then it helps maybe get people out. I don't really know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But anyway, I just posted some cool pictures in New York City. That's what I got.
I saw that.
I was in the villa. I got there early yesterday for Greenwich. And so I was sitting in the park, and there's this little tree on top of a giant building. And it was fighting so hard to grow, like a rooftop tree. It's like, I admired its spirit. So
I saw that. And here's my question. Did you get the finalized art from 800 Pound Gorilla for your album? Because that's a good post.
Oh, that is a good post. I'll do that. Yeah. I don't think I got it. Or maybe I did.
I got a draft of some of the stuff, and I just zoomed in on it so that I could put it up and make the announcement of what the name of the album was going to be. And I'm pretty excited about it. I don't, it's literally the most show busy thing that I do is put out albums. So
right. Yeah.
it's literally, so I'm going to be excited about that. That's going to be my thing. I suppose as opposed to the other most show busy thing I do, which is perform.
Yep. And then brunches at Magnolia Grill.
Oh,
That's your third most show busy thing.
We did that.
We did. That was fun. I think the guys that I produced 45 jokes with are going to put the special version on Amazon Prime. So if you have Amazon, you can watch it for free, or you could rent it if you don't. But that's a separate thing. It's just sitting there useless, and no one's watching it because it's hidden. And it's my set. It's a like hospice footage. And I later they told me that they added that so people wouldn't think I was so mean. They're like, oh, see, she does love her mother and her father. But I guess it added some humanity, because I guess I needed humanity added to me. But also Conan and Patton and Andy Kindler are in it talking about comedy and grief and stuff. So it's kind of cool,
This is 45 jokes about your dead dad?
Yeah.
That one?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's going to be on Amazon Prime.
Yeah.
I thought I got lost in the middle of that, and because you mentioned your mom, and I was like, did you film something with your mom in hospice? And I was like, that would have been brutal.
No, I didn't. Did not film that. Took a few pics, of course. And I look at them when I feel like just getting sad.
Yeah.
But what I should do now is caption a couple of chunks from maybe from the San Francisco sets, but also just from later, like Acme. I was there in Acme a couple months right after I taped my album, so that like the bits are better now. So I could put those up and be like, hey, that's on the album. Said with less confidence, but still.
But you have video, so yeah, because I have a comedy works set that is essentially 4 or 5 weeks before I film the album, and I could probably put some of that up. But I'm gonna have the special to chop up into 30-second, 1-minute chunks in about a week and a half. So,
Part of me is like, well, should I be saving that for a late night set? But it's like, I don't know. Am I ever going to get a late night set again? Should I save anything for anything at all? I mean, I don't know. What's the point of saving shit? For what?
Right. Live in the moment. Know. It's they say live in the moment. I say, where are we at here?
53.
I say live in the past and stay angry. 7 more minutes.
Yeah. So where are you going this week? Well, you're coming home. Are you coming home tomorrow?
Coming home. Then I have a lot of spots in Los Angeles. Let's see, cool. On September 11th, 9/11, the national holiday, a comedy holiday. I'm at the West Side in Santa Monica for the 8 o'clock show, and then I'm at the Laugh Factory in Long Beach for the 10:30 show.
Oh wow!
And then on the 10th, which is a Friday before that, I'm doing little spots at Flappers, and I'm headlining Flappers October 1st and 2nd.
Okay.
So I'll just be in town, bopping around, doing Team Coco at Largo. It's kind of a week of impressive venues. I'm at doing a Team Coco show at Largo on Wednesday.
Nice. Nice.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I'm in Irvine at the Improv with Maria on Wednesday. And then I'm on Thursday doing Flappers with Maria, the 9th. And then on the 10th, I have nothing, so feel free to book me. And then on the 11th, it's Sunday the 12th. It's a Sunday we're doing San Jose, a week from tomorrow. That's weird.
Okay.
So my Friday, Saturday, I should probably remind the Improv that I'm available and see if I can pick up some sets. That'd be cool.
Totally. Also, I'm at on the 12th, I'm doing 2 shows. I'm doing one at Good Nights, I think, which is like Burbank, North Hollywood. But also I'm doing a show at the Comedy Chateau, which is like just gonna go in covered in masks.
Yeah, just
chips and then get the fuck out.
You're just like I'm standing in Purell. My boots are full of Purell. It
feels like the Wild West at the Comedy Chateau, right?
Not any worse. I had a friend of mine that I've known from the old day job that called me up. She said, I went and saw stand up. And she's not a friend of mine. She's an acquaintance that I've known for 20 odd years. And she goes,
no friend would tell you that.
I finally went and saw stand up comedy. And I was like, oh, where'd you go? And she goes, the Ha Ha Cafe. And I said, no, you didn't. You didn't see stand up comedy. She said, the MC was drunk and he wasn't funny. But
so
there was a guy later.
Stand-up comedy.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And then there was a guy later who was drunk who was funny. And he was, and I guess, did you know that Don Rickles' daughter did stand-up comedy?
I heard that. I don't know her.
She's doing insult comedy, shockingly. And I guess Jay was there, Jay Moore. And so, but there was, she said
I
that
thought
she
you meant Leno. The Jays are out. The Jays are out. They're everywhere.
Right, they're working smaller venues. And yeah, but she said that there was only two people that were, it was the drunk guy and Jay Moore. That's who she liked.
Okay. Well, the Ha-Ha's fun. It's a great room. They used it to film Hacks. They used it to film the Sacramento show at Hacks. So
typecasting?
I always feel like the club, it's as good as the comics that are there that night, and in my opinion. So
yeah,
exactly.
The more a club books a lot of good comics, the better the club is.
Yes.
They all backslide every once in a while because they need to make money.
Sure.
So
but nobody backslides. Nobody backslides more than my people, who. It is.
Yes, your people do own the Ha-Ha.
Yeah, they do.
That is true.
It's probably some guy named Arthur. I've noticed this week that a lot of Armenian guys are named Arthur. And I was like, what is happening? What is the translation from, Murad?
Interesting.
To
it's Murad to Arthur?
No, it is not Murad. Murad, okay. I don't know what we called my uncle Murad, we called him Moose. And and then we used to say to his kids, our cousins, we'd say, we call him Uncle Moron, and then they would call my dad, whose name is Elliot, Uncle Idiot. So
what a hostile Thanksgiving you guys.
It was a very hostile family gathering.
The morons and the idiots are coming over for.
Exactly. It was not a positive experience with the two of them. I keep bringing to all of these hotel rooms Ethernet cables and adapters because I was hoping that there would be an Ethernet jack because I'm living in 2004. Nobody's got an Ethernet jack on the wall. They have, weirdly enough, more phone jacks on the wall when there's barely a telephone in a hotel room anymore.
Remember, we had to bring our modems with us, our 14.4s, our 28.8s, and we had to unplug the phone and plug it in. Oh my God. Those are the days.
You've got mail.
Oh, so exciting to go back to your hotel room and have mail on AOL. It's not exciting anymore. You find out instantly. That the joy of returning to messages is, it's lost on this generation. I'm really sad they don't have it.
I think that they'll have other regrets.
Kyle, all right. You know what?
They don't need the minute.
You have 2 minutes left, but I was cutting down a minute, so you're getting greedy.
It's true. Well, we also, here's the good news about Max Fun. There's a lot of breaks. There's a lot of breaks that are just gonna.
It's true. Oh, that's true. Yes, good call.
Yes, Laurie.
Yeah, guys, I gotta go. I gotta get on a train. There's reduced. Oh my God, Jackie. There's reduced subway service because downtown was flooded.
All right. Well, I have to go do what comics do in the afternoon before a gig.
Nap.
Nothing.
That is the polite term. Yes. See you guys later.
All right. Bye.
Bye.